Lil Bottoms of Sacramento, Nashville, and Atlanta. I'm coming to your cities. Some of those shows are actually on the verge of selling out if they're not sold out by the time this audio note gets out there. So, if you're hearing this and you're not in one of those cities, be warned. We've also got Denver coming up. There's a great email list and text alert. I'll only email you once a year when I'm in your city. And you are eligible to win free tickets if you go sign up for that. And then today we have Austin McKenzie back. You know him. You love him. He was on a previous episode with his partner, Kevin McHale. You know him from Spring Awakening. He's so fantastic. He just released a single, Sending My Love Into the Ether. It's available on Spotify. Go listen to it and follow him because his album comes out next month. That's Austin McKenzie. You're going to hear some dates in the episode. We recorded this a while ago to line up with the album. Just ignore them. Go follow him on Spotify. And a couple notes about this episode. We do have a trigger warning for it. This episode, which we recorded way back in September, we get into kind of heavier conversation around sexual assault, consent, grooming. While it's not graphic, it could definitely be triggering to some people. I do think it's really important, though, because it focuses in on sexual assault in the gay male community, which is something that you don't really hear a lot from cis male survivors. I just was so grateful that Austin opened up to us and was so vulnerable. Even though that is the topic of the episode, it's also just, as always, still somehow a very funny conversation as well. It's not the entire episode. I would say up until my story finishes, we don't get into any discussion of that. So if you want to enjoy the first half of the podcast and then turn it off, you're safe to do that. But from Austin on, that's the topic that we cover. Just keep a lookout for that. And if you do take the time to listen to this episode, thank you. I think it's really important. Bottom Nation, if you've put your little bottom into a Helix mattress, you know the pain of even going to the fanciest hotel and thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to sleep as well as I do at home? And it's never the case. I know this because I'm traveling all over the place and I cannot wait to get home to sleep in my Helix mattress. I've had my Helix mattress for almost 2 years now. I love it. It's the best mattress I've ever slept in, and it's so good because it's uniquely made for me. I took their 2-minute quiz at helixsleep.com. I figured out the perfect mattress for me by telling them that I slept kind of on my side, but also kind of on my stomach, and that I had lower back pain, and it spat out the perfect mattress for me, and now I am hooked. But don't just take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 and by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving sleep, and it has definitely improved mine. To get yours, just go to helixsleep.com/gaysex, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They even have a 10-year warranty, listener, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you absolutely will. Plus, they've got financing options, so a great night of sleep is never far away. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/gaysex. That's helixsleep.com/gaysex. Go check it out, listener. Listener, do you need a little more comedy in your life? Well, I have a great podcast recommendation for you. From Wandry, Rich and Daily is a podcast packed with laughs that delivers your daily dose of the latest celebrity gossip. There's so much gossip these days that it's impossible to keep up, but you don't have to worry. Rich and Daily has you covered. Hosts Brooke Sifrin and Aricia Skidmore-Williams are comedians, besties, and the perfect guides to spill all the celebrity tea. In a way that only best friends can, Brooke and Aricia give their take on the story that have the entertainment world abuzz. Rich and Daily uncorks the rumors and will leave you laughing and wanting more. As you guys know, I'm big on TikTok, but I never know what trends are going on in pop culture. I use this podcast to stay up to date with all that stuff because I'm fucking old and I need help. Listen to Rich and Daily on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wandry Plus in the Wandry app. Go check it out, listeners.
I chugged my coffee before we did this and then immediately took a shot. So I'm ready.
I love it.
But honestly, if I'm going to be on your podcast, you better believe it's going to be about trauma, depression, and drama. I feel like my hashtag trauma is like, I had a lot of really terrible sexual experiences. And so like the trauma is from that. I fully anticipated to talk about like the wild public sex I've had in my life. And here I am just talking about.
We will interrupt you. We want you to interrupt us.
Great.
So that it feels like queer friends at dinner or something, you know,
Great.
talking about bottoming.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's really kind of how Kevin and I talk in public around people.
Go on.
Oh, well, the thing is like, we're all adults. Who cares? You know, like if I want to talk about being you know, at a 5-star restaurant, like that's, you know, my prerogative, and people around me should just get with it.
And you're paying for it. That's part of what you're paying for at a 5-star restaurant.
To be overheard.
What kind of restaurants are you going to, and where can I go?
I guess gay ones. I feel like all Top Chefs are lesbians. Yeah. Everyone who's won Top Chef is a lesbian, and all of them have to offer a fist at their. There's like an Aso
just like Emerald says, bam.
Although is f***ing a lesbian thing? You know, like is that a thing? I feel like in the gay, you know, dude world, that's like a thing. But I don't know.
I think it is a thing in the lesbian
I think
world as
lesbians.
well. Yeah.
It's more of we talk about this a lot. It's more of a chef's kiss.
That's what I imagine. Yeah.
Than a fist.
So it is at a 5-star restaurant.
Oh, boom. There it is.
That was really good. You're
great.
on and I'm off. That sucks. That fucking blows. All right, just fist me. I guess I've earned it. I'm the bottom on the pod today.
Okay, but what about like anal fisting for lesbians? Is that a thing?
That I have not heard about.
I think so. I think for people who are into anal, it is an option.
Well, yeah, if you're into anal.
Yeah, but I think there's let's say this. I think there was an anal fisting scene on the L Word, so I'm going to say yes.
Your entire gay culture is just like anything that happened on the L Word is a possibility in real life.
Guys, I have never told an actual story about myself on this show. I'm just recapping episodes of the L Word.
Oh my God.
Someone writes in and is like, I've noticed this weird thing about Kate.
And you're like, and then you're like, and then I met Marley Matlin and we had sex. And it's like, wait, that sounds like. Are you sure?
I've never watched the L Word. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I think maybe you've told me that before and I make the same gasp every time.
I know, it's shocking. People really don't like hearing that. It really upsets my people.
It's a deal breaker on dates.
I don't think I've ever brought it up on a first date.
Wise.
Well, it's the same thing with like Drag Race. You know, other gays, it's like, if you don't watch Drag Race, you have never been penetrated. Like that's what it comes across as.
Well, that adds up because I've never watched Drag Race.
I've tried to get into Drag Race because we've had so many amazing queens on the show. We've had Dita Ritz and Brooklyn Heights and maybe some others as well. But for me, I feel like I'm missing something because I feel like I lack a fundamental knowledge about it that I can't fully appreciate it, but I am trying. I don't know if you have any advice.
Honestly, you just have to bear down and you just have to put Drag Race on and just take it like honestly. No, but really,
you need a bottom for Ru.
You have to bottom for RuPaul. I love that. Oh, that's a good t-shirt idea. But Kevin and I tried to watch it. I watch a shit ton of like compilation videos on YouTube of Drag Race, basically like the best parts. Mm-hmm. And Kevin,
you're like a 12-year-old on the internet, like figuring out that you're gay. You're watching compilations of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Honestly, if I had that as a little boy, instead of watching the shit I watched, it would have been so much easier. But we tried to watch it and it was really hard because it's a lot. It's just very overstimulating. And so we tried to watch it a few years ago and we're like, no, we can't do this. It's too much. And then we watched this most recent season and loved it. I don't know. You just have to start watching it and just like stay with it, and you'll get it.
Maybe I just need to give it more of I think for me, it's like a lot of things are happening. There's like the dancing, there's like the performance aspect of like the lip syncing, there's like the makeup and the costumes. And for me, I'm like trying to absorb all of it. And
well, also the personalities are huge.
Yeah.
And in your face. So it's just, it feels a little bit like junk food. It's just like, it's a lot.
I think a part of it might be that I feel like a straight dude watching it. Like I don't feel a part of it. I feel left out, frankly. Because some lesbians like do drag king stuff, or some queer women do.
So here's my two embarrassing.
Also, I'm gonna put on my glasses so that Austin
match?
And I are glasses buddies. And
oh my god,
and I look really hot in these glasses, and I never get to wear them because I only wear them for auditions.
Patreon, and YouTube. Please tell me that I look hot in my glasses. I don't know that it's a hat, glasses, like that's a vibe, but we'll see. I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, here's two embarrassing.
He does not. He got in one. I heard one in my earbuds. I don't even know that the mic caught it.
Well, Kevin and I we're such cunts to each other that like that my gut reaction, I had to like swallow it. I'm very good at that actually. Was you saying I actually look really hot in glasses? And my reaction was, do you? Like if anyone heard the shit that Kevin and I say to each other, they would think that like they need to call CPS or something, because we are
there's
so
no
mean
children, but
someone needs to be
adopted.
bad.
Oh my god. Never have I ever been called a daddy. Oh my god.
I like this.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I actually do. Despite the cunty comment, you actually do look.
And I'm just so glad that we have the same one. But sorry, talk about drag.
Okay, two embarrassing things. I've never seen RuPaul's Drag Race, but I did binge in like 2 days AJ and the Kid or whatever it was called. AJ and the Queen.
AJ the Queen or whatever. Yeah, RuPaul's.
Which was RuPaul's Netflix show that I think I might be the only person who saw it.
For a good reason. That looks like shit. It looks like total shit.
It was.
What is it? Is it about fracking? Like, what are we talking? Why don't people like it?
It's RuPaul fracking. Yeah.
Yeah,
the sexual way, not the environmental way. That is a different documentary about RuPaul.
I love a good fracking. A good fracking is like.
The other embarrassing one is I love drag kings. I follow a lot of drag kings on Instagram. I'm like a little amateur baby drag king myself. Yeah, I did Ashley's show. And so part of me is like, I want to be like informed by the culture of drag kings before I dive into like the much larger culture of drag queens.
Sure.
Well, I wonder, I mean, you guys can chime in, but I wonder if it's a thing of, drag queen culture is the point of it is just embodying and being an exaggeration of traditional femininity, where it's like just super, super classically feminine. So like, I wonder if maybe that's part of it, in the same way that maybe I would never fully understand drag king culture, because I am particularly not very traditionally masculine, nor would I like relate to someone embodying masculinity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I will also say that from the like, at least the local scene in New York, I feel like something that the kind of drag king community does really well is that it's not just cis women performing hypermasculinity.
Yeah, there's a lot of trans representation.
There's like a lot of trans representation, a lot of people performing like just like hyperbole of anything, like hyperbole of masculinity, of femininity, of like gender euphoria, or like grotesqueness, or even like heightened non-binariness.
I think this is too smart for me.
Even with your glasses on?
Even with my glasses on. I think I want to make dick and pussy jokes. And like
we can do that.
But hey, there are some fucking funny queens. There are some
I've heard that.
Funny queens.
Very funny queens.
Like, you have that part of drag where it's just hyperbole and something, but then you have queens who are just genuinely comedians who they're psychos.
Maybe I should watch Bianca Del Rio or whatever her name is and just
Bianca Del Rio is a good one. What you should actually watch that I'm obsessed with is Trixie Mattel and Katya's YouTube series called which is it's absurd. It freaks me out how the comedic timing is just so embodied. It's amazing and it's hilarious. You should watch that one. That's
I also loved what was it called We're Here on HBO Max, I think. It got interrupted by the pandemic.
Yes,
but it
that
was
show
really
is incredible.
Fun. Really
I hate
fun.
Queer Eye can suck my dick. I hate that show. We're Here. So good.
Well, Jonathan won't answer my messages, so I also hate that show until we have him. And then it was groundbreaking. Oh my God, what you did for the queer community. Unbelievable. Thank you so 100%. Much. How's Simone? Blah, blah, blah. Well, let's get into it because this was like a great little, I was going to tell you that we do banter up top, but we did the banter up top. So now we are done bantering. Banter over. We will never banter again.
No.
I chugged my coffee before we did this and then immediately took a shot. So I'm ready.
A shot of what?
Lime. What is this? Tanqueray gin.
I don't know why I asked. I don't drink.
You don't. I thought it was interesting that you were asking.
We should introduce who you are, Austin, because you've been here a while and you've been talking about Kevin, and maybe some people don't even know that we're talking about Kevin McHale, who we've also had on the podcast. But we have an incredible guest today. We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. We're having gay sex with Austin McKenzie. Woo! Yay! I'm going to go backwards. He just put out a single. I listened to it. It's great. Go check it out on Spotify. Very talented in Spring Awakening. I'm not probably going to say this right, but the ASL revival version. You're fluent in ASL, I'm assuming.
I am. Yes,
that is unreal. So cool. We're so excited to have you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm honored and surprised when anyone likes me. So thank you.
I like you.
You're also, you're instantly likable.
Yeah, you're
I think.
so likable and handsome.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
We'll see you with the glasses off, but right now you look great.
Bitch.
Also your teeth. So, oh my God.
Wow.
Good teeth are so fucking attractive to me.
Really?
Oh my God, I'm a big teeth gal.
You like some old vagina dentata?
What? Like teeth in the vagina?
Yeah.
That's what that means?
Yeah.
Vagina dentata.
I was just making a joke because you said I'm a big teeth girl and it's like that.
But is that a sexual term?
No, it's not it's like a legend, you know.
What? Tell the legend.
You never seen that movie Teeth?
No.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, she has vagina dentata in that movie and kind of uses it to, doesn't use it, but like comes into her power as having vagina dentata to kind of get revenge on all these bad men.
Oh, okay.
She gets fisted by her doctor and then bites his hand off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
What a gay film.
It's like it's like a revenge fantasy film.
Yes.
That uses this legend of like vagina dentata, which is like having teeth in your vagina.
Well, that's not what I was referring to.
Yeah, so I was just trying to make a one-off quick joke.
Write in. If you are a mythical woman chopping the dicks off of men, I would love to hear about it and maybe have you on the pod. But okay, let's do intros.
Yes.
Austin, about halfway through every episode, we introduce ourselves to the listeners who may not know who we are. Copy the format, but basically it's whatever you want the listeners to know about you. I am Ashley Gavin. I'm a cis, gay, white woman, she, her pronouns. Our weekly show is killing it. Woo. Come through. There's a mailing list. We have merch also, which I always forget to say. Rate and review 5 stars. Those are all the things. I don't identify as those things, but I kind of do identify.
Yeah, you do.
I identify as having merch. We're havingaysex.com/merch, and we'll add some vagina teeth on there. I think that's it for me. Oh my God, I didn't come up with a thing for you. Austin, you're so not the right person to ask this, but can you think of like a sports metaphor or like a turn of phrase from sports?
Sports. Okay. No, I've heard of it before. I've heard of sports. Okay, so wait, you want me to think of like a pun for it?
No,
okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a pun. You can make a pun. Kate is my cancel coach. They keep me from getting canceled. They have this whistle that they blow. So one time I said blowing the whistle so I can stay down in your thistle. And I'm just looking for fodder to make something.
What about like a round robin? That's
round
like
robin.
That's the earliest round of any tournament is like the round robin.
Okay, Kate Sisk, my cancel coach, keeping me in the round robin so I can keep bobbing down in your pussy, getting those apples, vagina dentata. I'm just in there, chomp, chomp.
Oh my God.
Bobbing for clits, everybody.
I will say that was one of the worst ones, but made me laugh the hardest.
Thank God you don't drink, honestly. I feel like the shit that you would say and do. Oh my God. Okay.
Listen, if I want to bite a clit, I'll bite a clit, but it just hasn't come up. What? If someone wanted me to like nibble, can we move on?
Yes.
I'm trapped.
No, I want to talk about that. Biting clit.
I don't just biting clit. I like how you said it like it's a thing we do. Oh, last night I was biting clit, and
that's what straight guys do. They chew on the clit.
I've never been with a man, but they seem pretty dumb.
I think a little bit of teeth is nice. Just a little bit.
This is something I've never said on the pod before. We need to get into the gay sex, but sometimes like putting your lip under your teeth like that to apply pressure is a good move.
I don't really do that anymore, I guess, but there was a long period of time where for blowjobs, that's what I did. I did because no one likes teeth or whatever.
No.
Yeah, you do the little like protection
you tuck
thing,
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a teeth condom.
I was gonna say like a teeth condom. Yeah.
Anyway, introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Kate Sisk. I'm the fat in the chat. I'm
fat in the chat.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a white bisexual lesbian dyke. My gender of the week this week, as brought to us by the listeners, is the kid with curly hair and the hat from Stranger Things.
That's great.
Multiple people said this. I like that show. That kid's very funny. I watch his little prank show.
I think he's in a Verizon ad now, so doing like super well.
Oh, yeah. His little prank show is very, very fun.
And pronouns, just to make you sweat a little bit. That's my vagina dentata to you. That's my pronoun dentata.
Yeah. Any pronouns.
Yep. Kate doesn't know what they are.
Yep.
Austin, do you mind introducing yourself?
I'm trying to think of like a fun little pun thing or whatever that you guys have done. What did you say?
Fat in the chat.
The fat in the chat. Yeah, I wish
you
I
could be the twink in the sink because you're in a kitchen.
That was very quick.
Thanks.
No, I have nothing. Okay.
Bottom.
The bottom in the bottom of the barrel.
Okay, bottom of the barrel. Really scraping. With that sandpaper.
I'm the sandpaper in the beach.
That's it. The listeners are howling right now.
Yeah.
They're like,
honestly.
That was awesome.
I mean, yeah. My name's Austin P. McKenzie. I'm like you actually. I don't really know, nor do I care about like at this moment in my life care what pronoun you use, which I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know.
No, you sound self-assured. Kate sounds like nervous.
Yeah, I think there are some people who like very comfortably are free in the not knowing. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
And then do we talk about like things that are happening in our lives? Is that what you did?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
I have a song coming out on Thursday called "I'm Not Ready to Go" with a music video.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Album's coming out sometime in September, and
we can release around that time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So that we can have people go to it. I think that would be better.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. And I'm having lots of gay sex these days.
Whoop whoop
with Kevin McHale.
No.
Well, he's gonna find that out the hard way on this podcast. He has probably never listened, but but he's important. He's an important guy. All of our guests are important people.
He was at the Emmys, so important and busy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. He doesn't have time.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen either.
Ashley's like, once I'm Emmy nominated, I'm not doing anything ever again.
Honestly,
that's a great move.
I like that move.
That's all I want is to quit this podcast. Austin, this, not to sound like a jerk, but this podcast like legit changed my life. Like seemingly overnight, this podcast and TikTok. And if I could quit all of it, I absolutely would.
I know. I completely get that. Honestly, when I got onto Zoom, I was like, they probably hate themselves right now. You know what I mean? Like you wish you were anywhere else but here. You wish that you were like at the DMV as opposed to being here.
getting my license renewed for my fucking Tesla.
Oh, God.
That is how we feel. No, I actually I'm so excited to have you. And I have a couple questions lined up for when you have gay sex on this show. But I'm going to start, and I usually give people an option, but tell me if you like this story. I bumped into one of the two girls that I had sex with in high school. I bumped into her on the street, and I thought about talking about that if you are down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
cool. So
Ashley has been holding off telling me this story for like...
I don't tell Kate anything.
A week or two.
We don't talk, actually, unless we're here.
Honestly, that's a good move. You got to save it all for camera. Save it all for the mic.
It's got to be fresh.
It's got to be fresh.
Okay, so, and I flossed my vagina teeth for this.
Okay.
Minty fresh. I have some Orbit in there right now.
Do you have your veneers are in right now?
They are in. I actually have like the funny kind that you like have little feet and you like, yeah, that's what they do.
Oh my God, I love that idea.
Yeah, there's just a little crank in my butthole that you have to wind.
Dude, me too.
Oh, this episode's
really do
so
relate.
funny.
We really do relate.
You're so funny, Austin. You're so funny.
Yeah.
And you're really quick.
Oh, well, thank you.
Do you have any comedian, like, have you ever done stand-up or anything in that space?
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
It's hell. Anyway.
You're so good at it. You're so good at it. Anyway.
Oh, thank you. It's all I can do. I would have, when I was a kid, I used to sing around the house and my parents called me Ethel Merman. And then never got me like voice or dance lessons, but it never would have worked out anyway because like they got me piano lessons. They did all this. My parents were wonderful and I had a lot of privilege growing up and I was able to do those things, but they did not get me voice lessons despite me singing around the house all the time and them calling me Ethel Merman. What a weird disconnect. But I think a part of me wishes I could have like, you know, been on Broadway or whatever, but I never would have typed into any of the female roles anyway.
Yeah.
So, or the male roles.
Right.
I am a rich tenor, if you cannot tell.
Actually, I believe that.
Yeah, I can sing. My voice is really low. Anyway, whatever. I'm not a good singer, but.
Is that you singing?
Yeah, that was it.
Wow. Ethel.
Ethel Merman for sure.
Okay, so this is kind of a long story with a lot of background, so I'm going to try and tell it as quickly as possible. I was in the 9th grade. In the 8th grade, I had a girlfriend that I like went out again with in the 9th grade.
Secret?
And she broke my heart. Secret. All secret. Fuck. So during this heartbreak period, this other girl who you get to name, she went to a very fancy Ivy League college. She's a lawyer at a big corporate law firm. She has a lot of opinions. She's rarely quiet.
Elle Woods.
It's bro. That is my type.
That is
okay.
That's so my type.
But like, let's be honest. Do I not look a little bit like Elle Woods? You know.
You do.
Wait, I do see it.
Are you saying I could be your type?
I would have a threesome with you and Reese.
Oh, okay.
Was that too much?
That's a lot of vagina for me. I don't really know.
I can wear a strap.
I would love to. Thank you.
That's all it took. He's straight now. Okay.
Anyway.
So Elle Woods, I wasn't in love with her the way that I was in love with like my girlfriend. I was young and she was like there and flirting with me. So we had, we started hooking up and we had like what I would describe as like very light sex. Like I would go down on her and like no one would come and she never went down on me. She'd like touch me and stuff. And then I went to camp and she went to camp.
The same camp?
Different camp.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And she told me to write her every day.
Every day?
Yeah. And so guess what? I wrote her every day.
Notebook style.
I am a lil simp bitch.
That's so sweet.
I wrote this girl every day and she never wrote me back. Not one fucking letter back.
Are you fucking serious?
Wow. Are you going to beat her up for me?
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was sort of
but like were you were writing her all summer every day, not getting a response. And you still did it. You kept going.
Yeah, because I'm such a little simp bitch. You have no idea. I am
even still?
I went to my college. Well, less so. I try to be less self-destructive with it, but I still identify as a simp. I went to my college reunion over the weekend, and my buddy who opened for me, because I did a set, he was like, tell me about Ashley in college. And no one had anything to say except she loved her girlfriend so much. They were like such a great couple. And I was like, that's it? That's what you fucking... Not even... Oh, she was funny. This was that. No, she was a little simp bitch. That's what they said. So at the end of the summer, she finally wrote to me. And she wrote, you smothered me all summer. We have to like break up. This is over. And I was like, well, you asked me. You could have written me to say, hey, like, this is too many letters. And in retrospect, I was like this little gay simp. But in retrospect, she's out of camp getting letters from a girl every day. Like, that is super.
But you're doing what she told you to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
If she hadn't told you to do that, I would be like, yeah, overbearing.
For sure. 100%. No human being on the planet would ever do that.
You were complying with a request.
Yes.
Following directions.
See, this is the thing, ladies. If you're listening and you're interested in me and you tell me to do something, you better fucking mean it, because I am going to do it.
You know what would be great though? What would be actually genius is if somehow she heard this podcast, heard this, and you guys had you guys met again for the first time in forever on this podcast and talked about it. I would have
her on in an instant.
I would love that.
But she will not do it, and here's why.
Because she knows I'm going to beat her up.
Okay, I'm worried that the listeners won't see my eyes because these have a glare, but
should I take mine off too?
No, you're fine. Mine have a different type of glass in them because they're fake and they glare.
They're fake?
Yeah, they're for
fake?
auditions. They're just for auditions.
He's so upset.
I've never once auditioned with them on. Every time I go in, I take them off. Total waste of a purchase. I'm turning them into blue light lenses. This is going to be a long episode. Okay.
And here I was thinking that we related, but you're just a
Oh my
fake.
God, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Whatever. Keep going.
I can change my shirt. You want me to change my shirt?
No, I'm just
What's
kidding.
your shirt gonna do?
I don't know, like just like something more like him. Do you want me to bleach my hair on this podcast?
Sorry, listeners, I just pointed and said yes.
So after that happened, I called and called and called, and her parents wouldn't put me through.
Oh.
Because obviously they must have figured out, I think.
Yeah.
And finally, when I connected with her, this is chapter 1, there's 3 chapters. Finally, when I reconnected with her, she wouldn't have a conversation with me about it. I was just like, hey, what happened? I wasn't trying to get back together with her. I was just literally like, what happened? Like, I was so blindsided by this.
And you were like a child.
I was a child. And then she had a fake conversation. So I said, what is going on? And she was like, yeah, I'm in G period English. And I think because her parents were listening to the call, she just like said things and then hung up on me. It was awful. And then she bullied me at school for a really long time until I was finally like, I kind of like stood up and I was like, you can't talk to me like this anymore.
Holy
Good
shit.
for you for standing up for yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
Was she bullying you, like calling you a lesbian, or just like general like bitchy teenage bullying?
Just super bitchy teenage bullying.
I hate that.
In front of my friends, and we were in the same friend group. She was like one of my best friends. It was so rough.
Well, good for you for standing up for yourself.
Thank you. 10 years later, we are at my college reunion. She is married. I wish I could describe to you, but if I describe who this person is, you'll be able to Google who she is, and I don't want that. It's so fucking...
She wears nothing but pink, long blonde hair, a little tiny dog.
So we're at my high school reunion. She like comes up to me. We're like alone, but in a crowd. Does that make sense?
With her wife?
Yes.
No. She's married to a man.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, who is shorter than I am. That's all I'll say about him. So
that probably means he has a smaller dick as well.
He definitely does. I could snap him in half, but that's not...
With your teeth.
With my teeth.
And that's all. Thank you for joining the podcast. Good night.
Okay. I'm sorry if that hurt your ears. All right. So I'm there. She comes up to me. I had just had my first TV credit. It was, at the time, it was such a big deal to me. Now I'm sort of humiliated by it. But like at the time, I was like so excited. And I was like, I'm at my reunion. I have a TV credit. Like I'm fucking, yeah. And she comes up to me and she's like, so comedy, how's it going? Like that. Okay. She had like a perfect GPA. I went to a school that like was super into like open-ended classroom structure where we all just like argued with each other. It was so competitive. It was like Model UN and debate and like all that kind of shit. And she was like the head of all that stuff. Just to paint the picture here more, Elwoods. So I stop her and I go, did you fuck and then bully anyone else since high school, or was that just me?
Holy shit.
Jesus.
And then I turned around.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, Joe.
And then I'm surprised you didn't go for it.
Oh, of course.
I then turned around and walked away and like practically sprinted out of the reunion.
Amazing.
Wait, she didn't answer? Or
that was the best part about it. I have never seen her speechless in my entire life. And her mouth was just open. and I just fucking took off. And I felt guilty about that. At first, I was like so psyched about it.
Yeah.
And then I felt horribly guilty about it.
I get that. That makes total sense.
First of all, I don't know if she was out to her husband about this experience with me.
Oh, did he hear that?
I don't know. He didn't.
Oh, okay.
But like, it just fell over the line in terms of her like gay privacy.
Did other people hear?
I don't think so.
I don't know. If you were like outing her to people, I could see the issue. But if it was just like a private
it sounds like no one else heard.
Yeah.
I just felt really guilty about it because I think I hold myself to a different standard than like what she did to me.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of like served it back to her a little bit.
That's fair. I feel like I'm watching this story as if it's like a movie.
I know.
So like
100%.
if you're in a movie character,
I fucking crushed it.
Amazing. But I
End
guess
of movie.
having to
roll.
live on from that moment,
right.
I could see where
and it's just not me. It's just like not, it's just not me.
Yeah.
And chapter 3, I bump into her like a few years after that on the train platform. And I apologized for this. And I said, I've been thinking about that a lot. I wish I had handled that differently. And I had no expectation because I never expected her to see her again. Also, she was so funny. She acted like the whole thing had never happened. She was like, I just got back from Spain with my husband and I'm doing the crossword. And I was like, Elle Woods, like, can't you just like act like we're not, this is so not, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I don't want you to have guilt about it. Like, it's okay. And then I just kind of stood there. I was like, oh, I wonder if she'll be like, also being gay in high school must have been really hard. And I'm sorry about it. I was just waiting for something.
Yeah.
And she didn't give me anything.
Wow. So you apologize.
I apologize
for like this somewhat justified, amazing comeback.
Yeah.
And she did not apologize for the incessant childhood bullying.
Yeah. Nothing.
Wow.
And then I was like, I immediately wanted to be like, well, I retract my apology. So then chapter 4, final chapter. This is what happened this week. Austin, thank you for sticking with me.
I love it.
I go over to my friend's apartment. She lives in the West Village in a super fancy apartment building, and I'm hanging out all night. Me and another friend go down, and we're standing on the corner talking. And who do I see but in the distance? Elle Woods, her husband, and her little sister walking across the street, and like we make eye contact, and we both just kind of like did this like smile laugh to ourselves, like, of course. Like, of course, here you are again. I see you every 5 years and we have like an incident. And I didn't say a word because I was like, she's with her husband, I'm not gonna like say anything. They walked a little bit past us. And I say to my friend, I tell my friend exactly what I've just told you. And I go, and they stop like 50 feet down the street from us.
Really?
And we're stopped. And I say to my friend, we are not fucking moving from this place till they do. This is our fucking turf. This is our friend's apartment building.
Yeah.
Our turf.
Yeah.
And then they're talking and we're talking and they're talking and we're talking. We're just standing there like fucking idiots. And then they turn into the building. They live in the building that my friend lives in. And to make, not to like out my friend, but my friend is like their family is like super wealthy. They own the building. So I can get all of the real estate information. I can find out what their rent is, which apartment they're in, which way their window faces.
This is Ashley's dream. Ashley has this very, very strange, you're very compelled by real estate as a concept, I will say.
You're like, so bitch, I will expose you for all the money you pay in rent and for all of the utility. You use so much electricity.
Your Wi-Fi provider is RCN, you piece of trash.
I will fucking expose you.
Have a happy life getting light from the west.
Oh my God.
I'm a New York City kid. Real estate is in my blood.
Your building was made after the 70s.
It's true, it was. There's parquet flooring.
Oh my God.
Post-war, but pre you bullying me.
But you know what it is? You know what I would have said? You know what? Okay, two things. You are the universe slapping her with the hand of reality every time she runs into you.
Oh
One.
My gosh.
Two, I guarantee that at some point in your life, she will, at whatever point you bump into her, she'll probably find you and she will say either, I'm sorry, you're right, or something like that that's going to blow your mind. I bet you that will happen.
I really, really don't think so. I think you're really deeply underestimating Elle Woods'
But there's so much of life left for you guys.
Yeah. Do you think that she is the type of person who really just legitimately has denied whatever happened or didn't realize that she was bullying you? Or do you think that there's a part of her that when you said that to her at the wedding where she's like, oh, fuck, this is a guilt that's eating me alive that I can't talk to anyone about? Like,
wow, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never really thought about her perspective until like I made her feel bad. I don't know what her relationship is to our relationship.
Yeah.
Or the bullying. I've never even thought about how bad she feels about the bullying.
Like, I wonder if the part she's ashamed of is like the lesbian part or like the bullying, being mean.
Yeah.
Well, in my experience, bullies don't even know that they're bullying.
I have a feeling she didn't because I think she would have apologized. Like,
well, also like usually people are like, oh, at the very least, she's like, oh, I was in high school. Like I wasn't, that's not me now.
I would have accepted that also. Yeah. Like I had my own shit in high school and I didn't mean to do that to you. And I'm sorry that I did.
Right.
Even if, but I have no idea if she's even told her husband that she's like fooled around with girls.
Yeah.
I don't even know what her relationship to that is. I don't think she identifies as bi or queer in any capacity.
Well, I wonder if in like kind of what we're saying, maybe she doesn't realize how bad the bullying was. Maybe in order for her to fully realize how bad it was, she has to fully accept the context. And that part she's like blocking out. She's like, there was no romantic context. So the bullying is just like high school shitty girlness instead of this like really painful thing to do to someone, which is like be in the closet with them and then
the
like
bullying I think I could have like handled had it not been after a closeted relationship.
Yeah.
Because I don't take shit from people. So like
real question though. I mean, does that affect your sex life? Does the fact that, okay, so, you have these formative years where you're learning about your body, your desires, and basically a big experience of, coming into your own sexually is basically denied in your face of like, why are you, sending letters to me? Like, we don't mean anything. And then of course she then bullies you. Like, does that affect your sex life now? Or did it? Like, have you grown from that?
This is why I'm a top.
Wait, but are there tops and bottoms?
I will never. It's more like dominance and like who's controlling the like plays. I would say, right? Cancel coach.
The plays, yeah.
The playmaker.
Sports.
And maybe like some strapping, but I don't really use a strap on, so I don't. But I don't know. I have a ton of gay trauma for sure, but I'm very fortunate that I don't have anything that really affects me in bed, which is like really nice because I know a lot of women have a lot of trauma that affects them in bed. So I don't have any of that, but I definitely have like trauma related to men, frankly, like having dated in the closet so many times with people who identify as straight. It's like, am I enough? I have a lot of that.
Yeah.
I feel super, super, super lucky that I could see myself easily being in that same situation, but I never ran into that opportunity. And I feel very fortunate that I never had to, have feelings for someone or sleep with someone who was totally denying their queerness or whatever. Like,
yeah,
that sounds like shit.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. And this is like the baby version. There's like another story that's like so long, but anyway, that's my gay sex from this week.
Trauma, tee-hee-hee.
My estranged girlfriend / high school bully.
That's the thing where people are like, parents are like, why would you choose to be gay? And it's like, why would anyone choose to have a bad life? Like, why would anyone choose to be traumatized? Like I would, if I could, I don't want to, I don't know. I just feel like the gay man or female or, in between experience is just like, it's so hard. Why would anyone choose that? Of course I wouldn't choose this. Like it's, it makes life harder anyway.
Yeah. And that's why, oh, fuck. Bleep that, Alex. That's why Elle Woods chose to be straight.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Oops.
Bleep in the Patreon. Bleep in the Patreon.
Again, thank God you don't drink, because.
That's my gay sex from this week. Listener, don't forget to support the Patreon, patreon.com/WHGS. That's how we pay Alex. He is a full-time employee of the podcast. We could not pay him on ads alone. That's how we pay Kate. And of course, me also. This is full-time work, so please consider going and donating. And in return for those donations, you get bonus episodes, you get comped tickets when I'm in your city. You get extended, unfiltered, uncut episodes, weekly access to my Zoom stream of my show in New York, and lots of other stuff. Patreon.com/WHGS. Listener, do not miss me when I'm in your city. I know you miss my TikToks and my Instagram posts, and sometimes you skip podcast episodes. I'm only in town once a year, so let me text you once a year when I'm in town. Or I can email you, ashleygavin.com. There's going to be 25 cities on this tour. Don't miss your city. Listener, we've all been there. Whether you're a little bottom or a little top, you've been in a new relationship, and you're establishing home court dominance. Who's going to have the main place? Who's going to be packing the bag, getting the extra Uber fare, lugging their stuff, buying a new toothbrush? No, you want to be the home court advantage person in the partnership, and that's why you need a Helix mattress. You need to have the comfortable mattress so that she always wants to come to your place and you never have to play an away game. That's how I do it, because I've got that Helix. I'm never going to the other place. Girlies are always coming here, and I've never had to buy an extra toothbrush. Seriously, though, I love my Helix mattress. I've had it for a little over 2 years. It's the best sleep that I've gotten in my life, and it's the best sleep because I went over to helixsleep.com and I took their 2-minute quiz. They know that everybody is unique and that you need a unique mattress, whether it's soft, medium, firm, one that cools you down, one that helps you with your spinal alignment. They've got something for you. One of the best parts about Helix is that they have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights before you decide whether or not you want it. It's risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. And they have financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. And right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/gay sex. Seriously, guys, they have over 12,000 5-star reviews. I'm one of them. I seriously love it. I recommend it. helixsleep.com/gay sex. Up to $200 off. What are you waiting for? Go get it. Listener, do you know why free trials renew without your consent? It's a business scam out to get you. Don't let those greedy corporations pocket your little queer money. Download Truebill right now to take control of your subscriptions. Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions that you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill. Because some companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts, and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in just one tap. I am a Truebill user. I've been one even before I had this podcast. I absolutely love it. It makes it so easy for me to save money. Every time I have a subscription renew, it sends me an email. It lets me know that I'm paying for something that maybe I didn't want to be paying for. Truebill has over 2 million users and has saved them over $100 million. Like Matthew B., who says, in a matter of seconds, I saved $660 for the year on my DirecTV bill, saved $120 for the year on my SiriusXM bill, and saved $840 a year on car insurance. Don't fall for subscription scams, listener. Start canceling today at Truebill.com/Ashley. Go right now to Truebill.com/Ashley. It could save you thousands of dollars a year. Truebill.com/Ashley. Get after it. Go get your money back. Listener, I don't know about you, but I am horrible at keeping up with celebrity gossip. And then when I find out about something, I want to do a deep dive. Like during the Free Britney thing, I needed to know everything possible. And that's why I'm so excited to tell you about Rich and Daily from Wandry. Rich and Daily is a podcast packed with laughs that delivers your daily dose of the latest celebrity gossip. There's so much gossip these days that it's impossible to keep up. But you don't have to worry because Rich and Daily has you covered. Hosts Brooke Sifrin and Aricia Skidmore-Williams are comedians and the perfect guides to spill all the celebrity tea. They'll keep you up to speed on the secrets, scandals, and news in the entertainment world. Is that rumor you heard about your favorite celeb true? If it is, you better believe Brooke and Arisha will have something to say about it. In a way that only best friends can, Brooke and Arisha give their take on stories that have the entertainment world abuzz. Rich and Daily uncorks the rumors that will leave you laughing and wanting more. Like I said before, when I wanted to know every last piece of information on the Free Britney scandal, I went and listened to Rich and Daily. They gave me the little tips that I hadn't heard of. Even in that New York Times documentary, I got all the information that I needed to know. Listen to Rich and Daily on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. And if you missed the audio note up top, there's a trigger warning around the discussion of sexual assault for the remainder of the episode. So if that's not something that you want to listen to right now or can listen to right now, I would just stop listening to this episode right now. Though I will say it's not a graphic discussion. It's, I think, a really thoughtful discussion and a really important view into cis gay male survivors, which I don't think gets spotlighted a lot. If that is something that you can listen to, enjoy the rest of the episode. If not, I'll catch you next week. Austin, did you have gay sex this week?
I had so much gay sex this week. I had gay sex this morning.
Oh my God, before the pod?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm so glad we had this originally scheduled for like 8 in the fucking morning Hawaii time.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
No. That's why when I was messaging you, I was like, are you sure you don't want to move this to a little bit later?
Well, like I would have had to turn off my camera is what would have had to have happened. Let's just say that.
I'm almost wondering if you want to talk about some of your gay trauma, if there is any, because we are on a gay trauma roll. But
I feel like my hashtag trauma is like some of it happened to have happened through gay shit, but it wasn't like what you're saying where it was like a direct, because someone denying their gayness or whatever. Like I had a lot of really terrible sexual experiences. And so like the trauma is from that, not from like specifically the gayness.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna make you talk about that.
Oh no, I don't give a fuck. I mean, like the first time I lost my virginity, let me just put this totally out here. It wasn't like a rape thing, but it was like definitely not my choice. And so it was
I will say the lesbians at home are wincing at that because they're like not a choice. You know what I mean?
I'm a big believer that anyone can label their experiences how they...
Fine, I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. You're not wrong. I think a lot of people... I mean, I did a little head tilt, but I think you can put whatever words on your experience feel right for you.
I guess what I'm saying is lesbians, calm down for Austin.
Well, no, let's talk about this.
Put your teeth back in your vagina. Tuck them in.
Well, here we are talking about it. Let's talk about it. So... It was a gray area. And I think that when I say, I don't identify that situation as rape, I think that's important because, to say it wasn't my choice, then it's like, I don't want anyone to falsely feel bad for me. I don't want anyone to falsely be like, oh my God, I relate, because I think that's important. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
I don't know the situation. Like, I'm genuinely like, I don't want to make you talk about this if you don't want to talk about it. We can cut literally everything that we've said and we can go into some sex on the beach with sandpaper if you would prefer.
I don't care. Yeah.
One reason that I'm interested to ask you questions is because male sexual assault is something that doesn't get talked a lot about, and I think happens a lot. Like my gay guy friends describe things to me that happened to them that if they happened to me, I would be like so fucking upset. Sam Morrison talks about like walking through a gay bar and just getting grabbed all the time. And it's this complicated issue of like gay male culture and like cruising culture and like all this stuff. There's just like I guess what I'm saying is like there's so much here and I don't know anything about it. And I'm interested to know like your perspective.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure I tell the story correctly because I guess I've never really went into detail of the story. When I first moved to LA, I was experiencing a lot of what I think a lot of young men experience moving to LA, which is older gay men or most of the time closeted gay men pining on and whining and dining these young boys that moved to LA and know nothing and are naive. That was totally me. I knew nothing. I was still a virgin, had masturbated maybe once in my entire life.
Oh my God.
Knew nothing of sex, what I wanted. I've always been a very lonely person. And moving to LA without knowing anyone, all I wanted was a friend. And this older gentleman, French gentleman, we developed a friendship, or at least what I thought was a friendship. And, looking back you laugh because you're like, you can see clearly what his motives were. But at the time, I didn't think anything of it. Asked if I wanted to go to Vegas with him. Barely knew him. And he was like, oh, I'm going to rent this car. I'll pick you up. We'll go to Vegas. And I'm like, sure, of course. That sounds fun. I want a friend. That happens. We get to Vegas. We see the Cirque du Soleil show. He's jet lagged, so he's really tired. He takes me to there's like a crappy like Eiffel Tower type building that he takes me to the top of, and we had this meal. Again, no idea what.
There's a lot of French. I know this is like a very poignant story, and the way that you're telling it, the tone is like really, really good. But I do want to interrupt to say how many French words have been used in the past. Just Cirque du Soleil, Eiffel Tower. Like, this guy is staying on brand.
He's like, I'm French, and you're gonna know it.
At the Bellagio, like, can we have some freedom fries?
Oh my God. He's in my phone as, I'll just say his name because he'll never listen and no one will ever know how to look him up. He's in my phone as Xavier French. Because I didn't know his last name. I don't know who this motherfucker is.
People are Googling Xavier French, and poor Xavier French is like, why are all these people sending me these angry messages? All these lesbians are sending me these angry messages.
It becomes clear to me at some point during dinner that he wants to fuck me. And I'm like, oh, I'm a virgin. I didn't tell him this, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm a virgin. At the time, I was like, I want to wait for marriage, and didn't want that.
You wanted to wait for a gay marriage?
I don't know. Well, my religious upbringing and experience is like a whole different story. But at the time, I just wanted to wait for marriage.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what my sexuality was. Like, didn't know anything. Didn't know a single fucking thing. And here I am at this dinner realizing, oh, I'm putting the pieces together. Oh, this guy met me because he wanted to have sex with me, said these things because he wanted to have sex with me, brought me here, got the expensive car, took me to the show. And I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't even know who I am. He doesn't give a fuck about who I am. He just sees me as a body that he can fuck. And so I tell him, I say, I'm sorry, but I don't want to have sex with you. And now looking back, he had rented this hotel with one bed. And what the fuck was I thinking? How did I not realize? And I want to wait for marriage, and I don't want to have sex with you. And it's one of those, like, again, a gray area where I could see like the interest in me drain from his entire body and his eyes, and the disappointment, the anger that he felt, the then fear that I felt, first of all, that, I'd ruined this trip that I had, which that's a really big trigger for me, is like ruining someone's happy experience. And so seeing all of that happen on his face was fucking terrifying. Yeah. And he made it very clear that it was like an ultimatum of like, oh, we're going home and you're never going to see me again. And again, it was just like tapping into a lot of different triggers for me of like, wanting a male figure, wanting an older male figure to know. And I then told him, I said, okay, then we can have sex. And we had sex, lost my virginity. And I found out that he had been like sending pictures to all of his friends, like, oh, look at this little like twink that I had sex with. And then, of course, the thing happened where, because he then went to France where he lives, and I was distant from him and confused about the situation and ashamed of myself that I did it, that I let him, control me in that way, blah, 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 blah. And then it turned to him, the texts of, fuck you. The sex wasn't even that good, you faggot.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Like, you're a little bitch. Why did you have to, whatever, all this stuff. And so, yeah, I guess that's why I start the conversation with sort of loosely defining what this was and what it wasn't, because it was gray. He didn't force me to have sex with him, but I guess in that position, it's an ultimatum of, if you don't have sex with me, you're going to lose this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that shit happens all the time in Hollywood to these young boys. And I've met so many of them, and it just makes me so mad that, like, the Kevin Spacey of it all, where it's like, everyone fucking knew what Kevin Spacey was doing, but it was just like fun fact about Hollywood. These grown ass closeted men are traumatizing these young boys who don't know any better. Yeah. So that was the experience. And, just to be totally honest, like, it happened many times to me and many times to a lot of my friends. And so, yeah, it's like confusing. How do you define it? You don't want to like make people feel extra bad for you, because it was your decision, I guess, ultimately. but it also was traumatizing. So it's like,
yeah.
And that's part of the shame is like, you're ashamed because you don't want to like, people had it worse, I guess. You know what I mean?
That doesn't decrease.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some more horrible story. That
Sure.
doesn't decrease what you've been through. It's definitely one of those cases where people would go, why didn't you walk away? Why didn't you walk away? And that adds to the shame that you have, I think. But it's more complicated than that because it's like a very sophisticated type of grooming almost.
Sure. But here's the thing. If you guys were sitting here and you had, like, I love the idea of us being totally honest and you conversing with me. So if you were sitting there like, well, whatever, because that doesn't matter, you chose, I would love to talk about that. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest and say I felt scared for you during the story, but I really do firmly feel that everyone can use whatever words they want to describe their experience and that can change over time.
Yeah.
You can come into seeing it a different way, or you can use different words, and two people could have the same experience and see it in different ways and use different words.
If that happened to me, I would describe it as an assault for sure. Rape is like a hard word.
Definitely. I would not use that word for sure to describe it. It's
become so associated with the most black and white form of rape. But also if a woman, frankly, told me this story, I'd be like, yeah, that dude is a rapist. And that's like my inclination to say to you is like, this dude knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing. And he put you in a situation where it made it so hard for you to say no. And I think that is the critical thing, is that when you talk about trauma and you said you feel that this was traumatic and was traumatic for you, part of trauma that I've read anyway, I'm not an expert, is this feeling of being trapped, that people in the same sort of situations, most of the people who get PTSD, it's because they couldn't like escape from the situation that they were in, and it like has this weird triggering like neurological like effect on your body. Please, people who are more knowledgeable on this, write in, tell me what I'm talking about, but I know that what I'm saying is like loosely correct. Like you were kind of trapped in that situation. Like, what were you gonna do? You were so young. You were in Las Vegas. You were gonna like go and book a flight. Like, he made you feel like total garbage. Like, you know what? I don't know.
And
scared. Yeah.
Like I said, I was 19, 20 at the time, 27, almost 28 now. Even still, it has completely defined every sexual experience. Even with Kevin, who I've been with for 4.5, almost 5 years, it has defined almost every time I've had sex with him with this, my whole life I've wanted a male figure. The first time I figure out how to get a male figure to stick around is in that experience, completely defined every single sexual experience. And, if I do this, then I get this in return. It's a really hard thing to work through. And again, it's so gray. It's so gray that it's hard to define it. Fun little ending, I guess, to the story is Kevin and I, sometimes we go on the dating apps to flirt with people or whatever. And that's, I guess, sort of fun for us. He's on Raya, which is like a LA dating app.
And is this the celebrity one?
I know about it because I am also on Raya.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I bet you clean up on there.
I haven't. That's honestly, that's the nicest thing anyone could have possibly said to me. Thank you so much. I was going to thank you for sharing that story and being so brave and like talking about this openly, but I'm really going to thank you for telling me that I clean up on the dating apps.
Well, yes. Kevin has matched with this guy before on Raya.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? Which I think, listen, I'm telling you this story again, not sitting here like the rest of the day isn't ruined. Like whatever, I'm telling you the story and whatever. He told me like, oh my God, I matched with him. I think that's hilarious. I think it's fucking hilarious. And like, oh shit, there he is.
You are a comedian. You're a comedian. That's the difference. That is the difference between regular people and comedians. Can you just fully first instinct laugh about your trauma? Even when it's staring your family in the face. Like,
oh my God.
On a phone. Seriously though, like, thank you for things like that happen to people all the time. And that's the part of rape that I think and sexual assault that we miss the most, is like how exactly people feel in that moment of being shamed and that they're trapped in a situation and they're young and your brain was literally not done developing. how could you have made an informed, thoughtful decision in that position? And I think, I mean, it's so relevant to like what happened with Aziz Ansari. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
Yours, I think, is more extreme because it was like you were in like a totally different location with some, you know what I mean? Like you got on a plane.
Do you guys, have you guys ever listened or heard of the podcast, The Heart?
We don't listen to other podcasts.
No,
How fucking dare you?
The only podcast you listen to is your own. No, it's this fantastic podcast that talks a lot about the gray area. I don't know. Plug for something I like.
Yeah, and also listener, if you identify with this, maybe that's a great thing to go and check out.
I also want to double back to something you said where you're like, oh, I don't want to use like this word or that word because I don't want people, I'm not trying to make people feel bad for me or something. I just want to reiterate that like, if anyone is searching for those words, it's not like those words are for you and they can communicate things to other people. But at the end of the day, it's not for like how other people are perceiving you. It's how you're perceiving your own experience. And
I would throw the word virginity into there too. We've talked about this before, but like your virginity is your virginity. That dude, like, I don't think he owns that. I think you own that. And like, I don't know, you've definitely had a much more loving experience since then that probably felt more like you lost your virginity in that moment.
Oh yeah, that's a really lovely, I've never thought of it that way. That's a really good way to look at it.
I'm sort of a genius.
Ashley, oh my God.
You're a fake genius because the glasses are fake, bitch.
Put them back on.
It's so nice to be with someone like Kevin who just, we were joking the other day where he's like, I don't have any drama. and it's so nice to be with someone who just, I don't mean this as an insult because it's absolutely not, but he's just like so simple in a lot of ways. Like he's just, everything is so, I don't know. He's taught me so fucking much about.
Does he have a good relationship with his parents? We probably should have asked him this when he was on the pod, but does he have a good relationship with his parents?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he does. He ultimately, yes. I mean, like his family argues a lot. He has like a lot of annoyances with his mother, but no, not really. He like, there's nothing. Which honestly, I'm like, how does it feel to have two loving parents, you little cunt?
I mentioned it because like I'm a person with what I would say is trauma, and my ex-girlfriend, who we broke up very amicably, was like just like an age difference thing. She's like no trauma from her family, and the way that it like was able to heal so much of me, just like being around someone that like modeled love correctly and was like could like make clear, just like knew when things were wrong. You know what I mean? And like it was just that I'm so glad that you have that in your life. That's like really, really nice.
It's one of those things where it's like you feel that you're evolving into a better place, and you know it's the right thing, and I'm so lucky, so fucking lucky.
I'm crying.
I love that little bitch so much.
Oh,
he's a really great little bitch, and I'm so glad he's your little bitch, and you can be his little cunt, and you guys can be this little bitch and a little cunt together. It's really sweet.
I fully anticipated to talk about like the wild public sex I've had in my life, and here I am just talking about. Which, by the way, I gave zero thought and had zero expectations for what this conversation was going to be like. So,
are you okay? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it, and it's fun, and you guys are awesome, and yeah, I'm feeling great about it.
Okay, good. Well, it's not time for you to go, so.
Oh, so that's awkward because
it's a long one. We can.
I literally have nothing to do. This is. And I told so Kevin's waiting for me at the beach, and I hate the beach, so this is the best situation.
The sandpaper's waiting for you, honey.
Oh my God.
Well, Austin, will you come back and tell on another episode? Will you come back and tell your raunchy public sex story?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely
How much are you gonna pay me?
The same huge dollar amount that we gave you for this one.
Okay, gotcha, great. Because I'm still waiting for that to come in the mail. So.
Oh, my people will reach out, and by my people I mean Laura. If you ever hear this, somehow find some money. I guess.
I know we're not done yet, but like this has been so fun and so nice and so
good. I'm glad.
It's so good. I'm really enjoying this. So.
I always try to find like the moments to inject humor into poignant stories, and I don't always make the mark. But I think I would say of the 5 that I did, 1 or 2 landed.
They did. They did.
And
they
Alex
did.
will cut the other ones.
I think there was like 1 or 2 points when I gave you a little pity laugh, but I think that it read like a real laugh, so that's good.
Well, you are a very talented actor. Oh, I wanted to ask you one question, which is totally separate. You speak ASL, is that the correct term?
That's the correct term, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How to put this in a PC way?
Have I ever had sex with a deaf person?
No, but that is also a great question. We can come back to that later. It seems like gay people love ASL.
Yes.
Why?
I have a theory. More specifically, the amount of gay people, women and men and in between, in the deaf world is gigantic.
Thank you. I wanted to say this, but I didn't feel that I could.
It is gigantic. It is gigantic. There's so much queerness in deaf culture. Also in the interpreting world, not specifically people who know sign language, but the interpreting world, aka the people who are hearing, who are sign language interpreters. Lots of gay men, lots of gay women. And my theory in the deaf culture, at least, is the from birth, entire life otherness that deaf people feel. I wonder if that plays into it, of like the inability to connect with the general population is something that I think a lot of queer people feel. And I wonder if there's a correlation. And the desire to feel a part of something. And that's not me saying that deaf people are like choosing to be queer or choosing to be gay. But I wonder if
you had a great thought on this, that almost mimicking, before we were talking about this before the episode to make sure that I wouldn't get canceled when I brought it up.
Yeah, I was listening to I got an ADHD diagnosis, so I've been listening to an ADHD podcast to try to gain some like insight. No, I've been listening to NPR.
That's worse.
No, it's another podcast, and there was an episode on like ADHD and gender identity that I obviously listened to. I've had a lot of interesting things that I could talk about another time.
Oh my god, the answer's right here in my phone.
But like one of the questions was like, is there really like a bigger incidence of like being trans and being like, I guess the term would be like neuroatypical or neurodivergent. And they said, the doctor talking mentioned this like at this point anecdotal. That means like small, right?
It means like only not studied, like not scientifically studied. Just through stories, basically, through people's perceptions.
Okay, yes. So it must have been her and like another therapist or something. They've gathered enough like individual data anecdotally from patients that they do see like a higher incidence or whatever of being trans and being neurodivergent. And so this was combining ADHD and the autism spectrum into like this quote unquote idea of being neurodivergent. And they were like, yeah, it does seem like it's higher, but like we don't have enough studies to like say that it is. And I was talking about it with a friend and he was kind of like, well, maybe like being like neuroatypical, you know, you have to kind of like examine yourself and your relationships with the world a little bit more. And while you're doing that, you might
feel
find
outside of the world maybe the same way.
You might find a lot, or at least like right. If you're already examining how you're existing in the world, maybe that includes gender as well, or orientation, or like so. I just think there's probably more gay and trans people in the world than know that they are gay and trans.
I think like there are the same number, like whatever that number percentage of like queer deaf people there are, that's actually the real number of queer people in the world.
Oh my god.
It's just that like it just gives you the opportunity to look at yourself. It's just so easy. It's just so easy when you're straight and cis to like just go along with life. Yeah. And when you're able-bodied. I don't remember.
That's true. That's a great point. And you're saying that correctly. Yes.
Yeah. So like it just like kind of gives you this window to be like, who am I in all ways? And you're gay. If you're listening, you're gay.
Also, every 3 days, I see someone on Twitter being like, stop teaching kids cursive and start teaching them ASL. And I'm like, yes!
Oh my God, that's a great point.
It just makes so much sense. It's like, okay, we had an hour every Friday where we learned cursive and I can write in cursive. Like,
I don't think they teach it really anymore. I think they teach computing.
Oh, I don't get to teach it anymore.
Well, they should have. I wish I knew ASL instead of cursive.
Well, yeah, because you're fucking queer. But
Well, everyone should know. I feel like
I don't know.
It's like a life skill.
Ultimately, I don't have the, I'm not a deaf person. I don't have the answer, but like it is something I've observed that the queer culture within deaf culture is gigantic, and don't know why. All I have is hypothesis, and maybe if, for hearing people who are queer, maybe it's like again, just relating to deaf people in that way makes them want to learn sign language of like, oh, I relate to this community. Also, your language is cool. Like I'll learn it and become, a part of the deaf community as a hearing person, and maybe that's part of it too.
I think also it like viewing the queer community as like a community fighting for its own liberation. I think that, it's really important to include people of all abilities in that. And so like when people talk about marriage equality, it's like there's still not technically marriage equality, because disabled people, if they get married and their partner's like money in their account is above like $2,000 or something, then they lose their disability benefits.
What?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. That's a really big thing of a lot of people who have special needs choose not to have a job because they know their disability will be taken away. They don't want to prove to the government that they're able enough, quote unquote, to have a job, so they keep their disability.
Okay, well, my vagina dentata is going to go after Joe Biden now. Like,
yes.
this is not okay. That's
chop off his penis and.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's really not.
That's so fucked up.
So like I've noticed a lot of queer people being like, remember, we don't really have marriage equality because like our disabled brethren don't.
It's a flaw in the system for sure.
Well, it's also a straight disabled issue.
Well, of course. I just mean, obviously, when you hear the words marriage equality, you think,
no,
gay community, we have it, we're done, yay.
Queer people are better than straight people. I understand that, but like,
honestly, it's fucking true.
That's so fucked up. I can't believe I didn't know that.
Very fucked up.
That is so fucked up. Well, I have a new problem that I have to fix, that along with climate change and yeah. Well, we've had you on for an hour and a half.
We don't have to do one. I came in with one prepared that is definitely not for this episode.
Okay. Then let's just close it out.
Okay.
Make it easier for Alex. If I give Alex a 2-hour-long episode, he's gonna fucking kill me. We have to find a way to make this an hour long. And there's so much great Patreon content in this already. Austin, you are like, oh my God, I don't know what is wrong with me today. Maybe it's because of the cat poop that I found in my bathtub.
Oh my God, you told everyone?
I just told everybody.
You just told everyone. You just told 250,000 people that you... Ashley was so embarrassed when I walked in. She was like, my cat pooped in my bathtub, and was like so embarrassed. And then you just told your entire listenership.
And that is who I am as a person.
But you want to know the first image that came to my mind is like, you wake up, you have like the candles lit,
wake
the bubbles.
Up a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself.
Ethel.
Elle Woods.
Elle Woods.
Elle Woods and Ethel. Ethel Woods.
That was not real singing. That was fun singing, Austin. I just want you to know that.
Well, I know your range and your vibrato capability already. So. No, but I imagine you in the bathtub and you're like,
oh no,
that's what I imagine. My image in my mind is you're in the bathtub and you're like, oh my God, I feel so good today. And you're like, my pores are opening up. I'm better than you. And then like just a piece of cat shit floats next to you. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that when I filled up the tub. That's the image in my mind. That's when you found out there was cat shit.
Also, why are we narrating it with like a slight porn voice a little bit? Like, oh my God, cat shit. I didn't see you when I'm
cat shit. What are you doing? You're my stepbrother.
And then you're no. Oh my God. Can the name of this podcast be called Cat Shit, please?
Yeah, you got it. Would you like it to be Austin?
We're talking about our traumas, and the podcast name is Cat Shit.
Do you want it to be Austin P. McKenzie is cat shit, or Austin P. McKenzie saw cat shit in the bathtub? Like, what do you want it to be?
I think it should be cat shit, comma, I didn't know you were my stepbrother.
estranged. Tee.
Oh God.
Oh my God, oh my God. I hope the listeners find this as funny as we do.
I know, I can't tell if it's because we're emotionally fragile that we think it's funny.
Literally, this is just the only way I can get these tears out because that story is so hard to tell earlier.
Oh, okay. That was fucking hysterical. That was the ending I was looking for, honestly. What I was gonna say before the cat shit situation, finding out that cat shit is my stepbrother and that he wants to have sex with me. But before all of that, I was gonna say you're such a beautiful person.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have such a
so much
magnetic energy, and you're so open and vulnerable, and like that was so brave of you to share. And I know the listeners are like really, really gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
Particularly our gay male listeners. We haven't touched on this topic for them, and so I think that that's really important.
Oh, well, I mean, that's awesome to hear. Thank you. And like, I was having such a bad day yesterday, so this was definitely needed. And you saying that, lifts my spirits. So thank you. So thank you. And God, why do I have to turn everything into sad?
No, do it. Make it just awful.
But just thank you. This was wonderful.
Yesterday, did you find cat shit in your bathtub?
No.
Okay, never mind. I retract my stupid joke. Your feelings are valid. Thank you for the pity laugh.
It was a pity. Well, yeah, it was a pity laugh.
But I do think the listeners are really going to appreciate listening to
Well, thank you. I had such a good time, and you guys are hilarious and lovely, and thank you for listening. You guys are
of
awesome.
Course. Where can people find you?
Burbank.
That's it. He's off the grid. He's on the grid in Burbank, but otherwise off the grid.
You can find me at Austinize on Instagram. You can find me Austin P. McKenzie on Spotify and Apple Music. And you can see my music videos on Austin P. McKenzie on YouTube. And then you can listen to my next single, I'm Not Ready to Go, next Thursday.
And this will probably come out.
When your album We'll time it around your album.
Amazing.
And if you fucks don't fucking listen, after he just poured his heart out on this podcast, I'm going to have my cat poop in your bathtub. Once I figure out which little shit is doing the shit, then I'll have the one cat poop in your bathtub. And just a reminder that Austin's single, Sending You Love Across the Ether, is out now on Spotify. Go follow him. That's Austin McKenzie on Spotify. Listener, thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. Get over to my website or get on my text alert or email list to check out my tour dates. Patreon.com/WHGS to support this episode. Our amazing editor, Alex. Obviously, the very brilliant Kate Sisk. The Patreon funds their salaries and mine. So go over there. Donate. You can donate as little as $1. And I'm going to leave it there. No gay thought this week. I'm just going to let this episode kind of speak for itself. And I really hope you enjoyed it, guys.